Hello guys, my name is JP and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I've already been busy doing my nonsense. I built two new versions of the hoverjet. One is pretty big, but it does work, using some of the new parts. Amazingly, this thing works. It doesn't look like it works, but it does. And also a somewhat smaller version. This one kind of works. Like, everything is too low. I need to lower these landing gear with a little cubic thingy. Either the cubic octagonal strut or the girder segment, because it did have a problem with this hitting too low. But it works really well. So let's go ahead and load it up. And as usual, I can show off because for some reason I'm really good at making VTOL plans. So SAS as always, hit the brakes. One to fly. Throttle up. I like this one because it's so small. It works really well. And luckily for me, the aerodynamics in Kerbal Space Program don't seem to have been changed much, if at all. So everything works exactly as I always used it. Like, no problems. The only difference is some of the parts have changed, like I mentioned in the other video. So like, I don't think I can load up uh, old craft files in the new one. If only because I don't think they'll work properly, because my previous designs were like usually based on the old stock Delta wing that doesn't exist anymore. Oh, we need to be going down, not up. I said down. Jesus. Come on. There we go. But yeah, I don't think any of my old designs are going to work properly, so I'm going to have to revisit some of them, like the flying car. So I really liked the flying car. That was like my first really interesting design. Like, that was the first one where somebody gave me an idea and I took it and I made it great. Like, my girlfriend told me, she's like, why don't you build a flying car? I was like, wait, that's a great idea. So I did. And the flying car is actually really cool. Like, it's basically just a plane with rover wheels, but it switches back and forth between the two really well. So what I'd really like to do maybe is combine all three of my designs, the hoverjet, the car, and the plane, and basically make a hoverjet that can land anywhere and drive away. I feel like I'm coming down a little odd here. Let's try to scoot over a little bit. Now we're coming down a little funny, but I think we'll be alright. It's a little hot. There we go. At least this time it didn't break. Last time I actually, it broke in half. Like the whole thing, it just broke in half when it landed. I'll have to probably add struts between here and here. And I still need to add the fuel line from the main tank to the little tanks, because right now they're just on their own. But it does work pretty well, as you saw. The aerodynamics aren't perfect, but it does fly really well. And I use these because they're less intrusive than the newer wings. Like the new ones are way too big for most regular little planes. Like if you want to use the Mark 1 size stuff, the new wings are way too big. Let's go ahead and go over to the Kerbal Flyer. This was just a plane I built to test out the new parts and stuff. This one is really good. It flies so well. Like this is up there with some of my little tiny ones that I used to build, where it was just like this and the equivalent of this part, a jet engine and an intake, and like a wing. This thing flies incredibly well. Let me see if I can see move a little. Unfortunately, it doesn't turn very well here. Oh, oh no. Oh no. I should not have parked it there. I don't know what I was thinking. Like I'm never gonna get out of this spot. I sure as hell can't back up, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'll stop there and I'll build like a rover to taxi this thing around or something, because it's not going well. If I turn any farther, it's gonna clip this building here. Oh well. I'll actually probably so I'm gonna recover it. So let's go ahead and I'll show you the big one, the other hoverjet, the hoverjet 2, because that one it works. Honestly, I prefer the 3. Like this one's bigger and it looks like it's bigger and heavier and sturdier and like it'll fly faster, but it's not really any better. The only difference is I suppose this one can be modified to work as a space plane, probably. You can easily you can easily turn this into a short one, like up front, and add a small cargo bay. So you can probably use this one as a space plane. Well, it's a little bit of a stretch. You'd probably have to include the oxidizer in these two and make these Rapier engines. But it's not particularly fast, that's why I'm like, maybe. But it works just the same as the other one. Only this one takes a little bit longer to lift off because of how much heavier it is. Like this one, I have to get quite a bit of thrust going before it gets off the ground. Oh man, I didn't even SAS. Yeah, same as before. This one works exactly the same, so I'm not gonna like demonstrate the whole thing. I'm just gonna go up and down. This one is significantly harder to control compared to the other one, obviously. But like I said, this does prove to me that the aerodynamics haven't really changed with the game, which is one of the things I was worried about when I started messing with the new stuff. And I broke the engines. It's fine. This is one of those ones where I probably need to raise them up a little bit. And I just blew out all of the struts, the landing struts. Yep. Actually, that's what these guys are for. In this plane, they can actually get off and walk around on top of it. without having to leave it, so they can actually go over here and come on. Yeah, they can repair the legs without having to get on the ground. It'd be nice if the legs wouldn't break, but I guess it's fine. It's my own fault. I landed way too fast on that one. It'd be nice if they could repair my jet engines. But I'm thinking of coming up with an assembly just for these VTOL engines. Something that is raised up instead of just being attached to the side of it. Because that's the common problem there, is that the clearance, the ground clearance isn't high enough. And they tend to hit. Like especially on a heavy plane like this, where the struts want to sink in. Yeah, especially on a heavy plane where the struts want to sink in. This thing it'll just ground out and the jet engines will explode. So I'll have to build some kind of assembly for that eventually. Something that raises it up a little bit so that they don't hit. Yeah, this is one of those ones that doesn't really like to fly very well either. That's why I say I like the 3 better. It's more of a natural design. This is more like something that was designed for the purpose of being a VTOL plane. Whereas the other one was more designed to be a plane that happens to have vertical takeoff and launch. Or vertical takeoff and landing. This one's more like, oh, okay, it's obviously not quite a plane to begin with. Like the fact that it has like a landing gear and stuff. It's clearly more like of a hovercraft than a plane. But anyways, that'll actually do it for today. I'm not gonna go like on a whole flight or anything. I'm gonna go ahead and include the craft files for both. This Hoverjet 2 and Hoverjet 3 in the description if you want to have a look at them. I have the action groups the same way as I had the other one. This one's a little bit more complicated because it also controls the landing gear. It's just turbojet shut down, basic jets activate, lower legs. Opposite for this one. Turbojet activate it, basic jet down, and raise the landing legs. I also have the different landing gears set to this instead of just the gear button, so that I can control them independently. But yeah, that'll do it for today. So if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment. Other than that, that'll do it. So that'll do it for today. Like I said, like I keep saying, my name is JP, and I will see you next time on more Kerbal Space Program. So long.